Hey, okay, so this particular game I have been trying to find so that I can play for the channel. This was the first game that I ever actually played, other than those educational games that my mom and dad would put on put on our system. So the game itself is called Captain Comic, The Adventures of Captain Comic. And it was released for DOS and then later for NES. It was released in 1988. And the idea of the game is this Captain Comic is on a mission to the planet Tambi. And he must find 3 artifacts, the mystical gems, and 1,000 coins of tenure, and the Crown of Ages. And he must travel through different environments, and the game ends when he finds these 3 treasures. I never got through. I never got through this game. Oh my gosh. Now, the way that it is set up is on the bottom, there's like this little area where it shows different, 5 buttons. And so that means that you have 5 lives. Oh, those days. And you had a limited amount of firepower. And you, of course, had a shield. And there was like this cola that you got, and that was your like energy. And so there was like all this different stuff that you could get. There was also, of course, enemies, where there was like a brave bird and a shy bird. There was a beach ball, and they would like bounce off walls and everything, and so you would have 12 shield points, which was health. But when an enemy hit you, 2 points are removed. And once the shield has been reduced to 0, Comic is still alive, but will die on the next hit. Now, unless you fall down a hole or something. Just like in Mario, when you fall down one of those, yeah. And I fell down those a lot. Oh, good heavens. Yeah, if Comic is killed by either falling off the bottom of the screen or being hit with no shield points remaining, a life is lost, and he is returned to the point where he last entered the zone. If all lives are lost, the game ends. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about firepower. But I remember you had very little firepower. Oh, man. There were... I think you had a total of 5 shots. And, because it seeds like it had, like, this little... Because you have a box, and, this is set up where it has, like I said, that bar on the bottom of the screen, and then on the top of the screen, of course, it shows you playing the game, and then on the side, it shows your points, and then underneath that, it has the firepower, and then underneath that is your shield, and then there's a big box, and it shows all this stuff, a black box that shows all the stuff that you have, like your shield or your boots. The boots are kind of like Pegasus boots, I guess, or they make you jump high and everything, and cola, and you found the gold, or whatever. And with the shots, it tells you how many you have, and it seems like the maximum you have is 5. Oh, I'm sure that you guys would have a dickens of a time with this game, only 5 shots, yeah? And we were grateful to have those shots. Oh, good heavens. I loved this game so much. I think this is one of my first patterns that I made. Because I remember, I have never forgotten this game. I have loved this game. In 2012, PC World called Captain Comic the 12th greatest shareware game of all time, writing that it inspired many other shareware authors, including the folks who would later create Commander Keen. Well, that makes sense. When you look at, if you ever Google it, and please do, if you're watching the run-through, playthrough of Commander Keen, you'll see similarities. And let's see, a sequel from the same author was published in 1990 as Commander Keen 2: Fractured Reality. Well, let's look at that. 1990 sequel. Only for MS-DOS. Game was created by the same person who created the first one. The game was not as successful, despite containing numerous improvements and new features. You could save and continue the game. Oh, I thought you could with the last one. Hundreds of objects to discover, multiple hidden rooms and bonus objects, 4-way scrolling platform or playfield with more color and graphics, many new tools for Comic to use, non-player characters to interact with. Yeah, because in the last one, it just had those little enemies that bounced around and hurt him, like the birds and his beach ball and like a flying saucer came in. And a much more involved storyline, the ability to swim, fly, ride a mine car, and a sled. Dude, all you did was like bounce, you jumped and how did this not make it? I didn't even know about it till just now. The game is also reportedly 3 times the size of the original. Well, for real? The game was sold commercially instead of shareware. Game opens with this screen of text. I'm not going to read it. I'll put everything in the description like I always do. In the game, Comic must find a machine which allows him to travel to 6 different realities, in which he must collect the 6 crystals to save the planet and its inhabitants from evil aliens known as something, which backwards reads big jerks. Oh, wordplay, love it. That's funny. Oh, merciful heavens. Well, how did this not make... Oh, well. I'm confused, though. I'm wondering why... Well, I'm not going to dwell on it. Anyway, I have been trying to find this particular game because I spent hours playing this game. I loved it. And again, I will make sure to put this and the second one in the description below for you. And it looks like the second one did not make it to NES, and like the first one did. But I played this one for hours, and I loved it, and I haven't been able to find it anywhere. And it's just heartbreaking because I would love to be able to play it. If I can find it, I'll put it in the description. If someone has done a playthrough for it or whatever, I will put it in the description for you. I mean, it is just one of those games that just kind of got lost, I guess. Because I haven't heard anybody talk about it. I haven't seen it come back or anything. So, yeah, it's just sad. But anyway, yeah, I have tried to find it so that I can play it here for the channel, because again, this was, I think, my very first game, besides those educational games that my parents had. And they had a lot. But yeah, I loved this game so much. And and I never knew that it had a sequel. And I'm kind of surprised that the sequel didn't make it, because of the fact that it had all those features on it. So weird. Anyway, guys, so that's Captain Comic for you.